So you about ready? All right, so you feeling good? Well, we gonna get into it. We gonna make it work. All right, you ready? Look, you ready?
Yeah, I'm ready.
All right, here we go. Woo! Lay ill kid at OneYoungsta, holding it down, breathe that StreetGeek and NERDSoul. What is up, my people? Today, all year, coming with another wonderful episode of That's Right, Loungin. We made it another week. We are back. What's up, my people? It's a beautiful, awesome day. Well, we gonna try to make it that way. Big shout out to Alan Lewis in the chat. Big shout out to Boogs Worthy. K Smith up in here. What up? Before we get started, I did want to give a shout out to all the Patreon supporters. Tim I, Jamal Lee, Panda, Thought Crimes, Enrique Carrion, Tyler, like all of y'all help tremendously to grow this joint. And if you want to help grow this joint, if you want to help your brother go independent, feel free to hit that link below. Go to Patreon, drop a couple dollars in the bucket per month. Actually, I've worked out the math. If every subscriber gave like $1 or $2 a month, at least $2 a month, your boy could be full independent. You wouldn't even have to wait for stuff. Well, you probably would still have to wait for stuff. I still got a schedule to keep. But the bottom line is, you get way more than you get now. I am saying, look, hey. Possible? I mean, yeah. I could probably, I'm sure I could drop like mad mo heat. But anyway, with that said, glad y'all up in here. That's right. Got NERDSoulite in the spot, ready to go. Today we're getting into Jacob Blake. Hold on. Today we're getting into Jacob Blake and the fallout from that. Now, before we get started, you want to go up? All right. Before we get started, I am joined to my left by an awesome sister, a wonderful person, a humanitarian, if you will. Lady Lisa, say what's up.
Hey, y'all.
So with that said, if you did not know, lately, Jacob Blake, who was a young man in Kenosha, Wisconsin, was shot by an officer in his back. Not fatally, but he was paralyzed, at least at this time, from those shots, which was basically caught on camera from across the street, from a neighborhood, resident or whatever, and caught it on camera. And of course, once again, same old thing, a black man kind of just standing there, finds a way to be able to get shot. Go ahead.
He wasn't just standing there.
Well, yes.
There was something, going on, between he and the cops at that point. Everyone was trying to fight, and the cops were called and all of that. So we know there was a whole lot going on.
Yeah, I'm talking about the moment he was shot. There was no danger to any officers at all. There was nothing going on. There was nothing crazy. It was nothing at all was going on to where someone needed to be shot. So anyway, since he was shot, the fallout has been, of course, protests. And what we've seen in a very interesting way is protests on the local level and once again on the national level, fueling the energy behind behind the idea that we are not accepting this anymore. So we're not accepting this anymore. And I did want to give a shout out before we go too far. I wanted to give a shout out to the youth that have been sort of at the forefront of a lot of these marches, a lot of these engagements, and just speaking out, being loud, making noise, being seen, being heard. It's something that not everybody can do. And since everybody can't do it, it's a beautiful thing to see them out there, fighting and kind of like getting out in front of things. So that's something that I definitely enjoyed and loved to see. Also, since then, we've also seen another bit of positive news, I could say, in solidarity for protesters. We saw the Milwaukee Bucks withdraw from playing their game. Orlando Magic followed. And then you saw the Lakers and the Blazers also follow suit in kind of just boycotting, protesting, sitting out the game in lieu of what has gone on. Basically making a statement saying, like, look, this is the power that we have to wield, and we're going to wield this power to show our disdain for what's going on and show what we're angry and upset about. So, cool. We got that. But unfortunately, there's been more bad news heaped on top of what went on with Jacob Blake. And shouts to Boogsworthy said they wasted no time with the smear campaigns against them. Police are not judge, jury, or executioners. Thank you. And we'll get into that later. I'm just trying to catch everybody up real quick. So during the protest, one night they had set a curfew. They, meaning the police of Kenosha, Wisconsin. They set a curfew. People in the, I guess, local militias and things like that in the surrounding areas decided they were going to come out and they were going to, I guess, help the police, even though they were not called to, but they were going to help the police protect the property. They were going to stand there with guns and protect the property and be there to stop all the rowdy protesters. Okay, cool. So one young man, 17 years old, decides, I'm going to come all the way from Illinois. Now, I'm not even in Wisconsin, but I'm going to come to Wisconsin with my gun. And his very, very crazy mother decided to drive him all the way to Kenosha so that he could patrol the streets in some kind of fetishized fantasy of being some kind of lawman. So he goes out, and of course, he's amongst the protesters. The protesters have a reaction to seeing somebody, pointing a gun at them, walking down the street with a gun, pointing at people, things of that nature. And some of them probably rushed him. And at that time, he shot 3 protesters, killing 2, maiming 1. And since we've seen fallout from that as well, where now it's a situation where not only did he kill these people, but homie just walked off. And on top of walking off, he just went home that night, slept, went home, relaxed, kicked it. You know what I'm saying? Went home, took a bath or something, and chilled. And was able to turn himself in the next day. Meanwhile, remember, this is all going on. Meanwhile, the whole reason protests are happening is because a black man was just there. Like, there was no gun involved. It wasn't like, he ain't have no nunchucks, nothing. So then we continue on into this whole thing with Kyle Rittenhouse, who was the young man who went over there and murdered those 2 people and maimed 1. Now it's a situation where they want to treat him as a juvenile and all this extra stuff. So there's a lot to unpack and talk through and get through at this time. And we'll get into finer details, but I wanted to give you guys kind of like a quick, a quick catch up if you've missed some things. And we're going to get into some stuff with, the case or the supposed case, the mom, Kyle, Jacob, his family, statements, things of that nature. So big shout out to chat. Caseman said, yeah, paralyzed. And Boogsworthy said the mom needs to see some prison time too. Yes, she definitely should be charged with something like aiding and abetting or murder 3, something like this would be a situation where you knowingly took someone somewhere with a gun to use that gun. And since we know guns are only used to fire bullets, like there's no, like if she took him somewhere with a hammer, then you could say, oh, okay, maybe he was going to do some carpentry. But because a hammer can be used to build, use nails, or you can hit somebody with it. A gun has no other purpose. You can't wash your car with a gun or something like that. You can't hammer in a nail with a gun. Like, the gun has only one purpose. We all know that. Which also takes us back to the whole purpose of what, what's common sense ain't common no more. But with that said, I'll digress a little bit because we're going to have tons of time to get into this. But Lady Lisa, I know you wanted to make some different statements on what's going on.
No, I mean it's nothing different per se. I was just thinking of the mom, and it's like just wondering what she was thinking. And at minimum, she should be charged with contributing to the delinquency of a minor.
And that's extremely light.
Yeah, at the very minimum. I mean, like, he was not supposed to have it. He's 17 years old, so he was not legally allowed to have a gun in any way, shape, or form.
Yeah, and this isn't a situation where he was.
I've read some people arguing that he was defending himself. But regardless of that, you're not supposed to have a gun.
Yeah,
you're not supposed to have a gun.
And the thing that I saw that was very interesting with the police of Kenosha, Washington. Milwaukee. Wisconsin. Sorry. Which is, yeah, you there? Why did you turn off? Let me see. All right, thank you. No, you should be good. So anyway, go ahead.
That was it.
All right, cool. So anyway, like the issue I have here is, yeah, Lisa just talks slow, y'all. I talk louder than she does, so she just talk low. That's sorry. So the issue I have here is not the issue. There's many issues that we'll walk through, but I thought something that was very telling was the open disregard and complete apathy for the protesters in general. We got a statement from the police chief that just basically was distilled down to, hey, if you was out there after curfew, that's what happens. You shouldn't have been out there. And I think that's interesting when you juxtapose that with how you want to deal with someone else who shouldn't have been out there. Because now we have to deal with a young man who has gone and murdered 2 people and maimed 1, yet we don't seem to have the same apathy for him. There seems to be this outright empathy for this young man, where it's, oh, well, we gotta, take care of him. He's a juvenile. So he's a juvenile man now. I mean, he's a juvenile now instead of a man. When black people easily, 14 years old, charged as an adult. But when it comes to, of course, some white kid or some white dude, now all of a sudden we gotta handle them with tons of care and empathy and love and respect.
And wording matters, because in all that I've read, he's continuously referred to as a teen, as a juvenile. They emphasize 17-year-old, but then when they have stories about young, juvenile black boys, they will say young man.
Yeah.
The wording is very, very important, and it's intentional. It's clearly intentional. They're emphasizing, trying to get people to lean to the side of looking at him as a child.
And then
he is a
what is it? Aspiring cop.
Yeah, he is a minor, but I just don't like, of course, the very blatant, differentiation they make between when they refer to a young white boy and a young black boy.
And also, if the energy from the police department is going to be that you, meaning protesters, should not have been out here, we need the same energy towards Kyle Rittenhouse, where you not only shouldn't have been out here because this isn't even in your community, but if you wanted to come here and protest, cool, but the protest should have been peaceful. One, also, you were breaking the law by handling that gun. So all I'm saying is the complete stark contrast in real time of someone completely making special exception because someone is white. But I do want to back up to the Jacob Blake incident. Jacob Blake, murdered. Well, sorry, not murdered. He was paralyzed, not for lack of trying. They shot him in the back. They shot at him the guy shot at him 7 times, hit him 4.
Because it used to be that they would make the excuse that all the cops just started shooting.
Yeah.
Right? And to explain away all the many times they shoot. But now it's just one cop. So he's like, oh, don't worry, I don't need y'all help. I can do it by myself.
Yeah.
And by the grace of God, he didn't die.
The interesting thing here is, once again, we are all we've got. Thank God someone had filmed this, because they already said we don't have body cameras. Why don't we have them? Oh, we don't have budget for them. But I bet y'all got new cars. I bet y'all got new boots and shoes and pants and shirts. Bet y'all got new hats and shields for protests. I bet y'all got new all that. But somehow, no money in the budget for body cameras.
Because they're not important.
Because they don't want people to because people have been caught out there. Now, at the same time, you can make the argument that catching someone means nothing, because nothing's going to happen. But I would say that we are now in a time where these protests are starting to gain more and more momentum into what could end up being a critical mass of anger, frustration, rage over what could easily be solved. You know what I'm saying? What could easily be solved in just treat all of us exactly the same. Can easily be solved. Or it can be solved in legislation, like we've already said. We want qualified immunity gone. We want to defund the police and use it for other entities and organizations that can handle situations like a domestic dispute where there was probably people arguing and stuff, but there were no gunshots going off. There was no firecrackers and bombs and everything. None of that was necessary. You could have sent people there that just had mace or something to help de-escalate the situation instead of people that were coming to use firearms. Those are the kind of arguments that are made. Also, you see now that not only has the energy publicly changed, but we've seen the energy from the families change. Usually when someone's killed, say I get killed, I'm out there, poop, pop, 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 police shoot me because I'm just not listening to him or something.
Living while black.
I'm living while black. I'm walking. The dude was walking away from him. Now, of course, they've made this argument that, in the floorboard, he had a weapon down there. But you didn't know at the time. So what was the reason for you to shoot him? Just because he was walking away from you? Maybe because he wasn't giving you the attention you think you deserved? So anyway, I get shot. Back in the day, the mother would come on crying and, I just want to pray for the police, and I hope that we can all just come together and just love each other. And I've liked the energy. Now, we did see, the mother, of course, sad, brother sad, stuff like that. But I like the energy from the sister that was like, look, nah, I've already cried enough. Not sad, I'm angry. I don't want your pity, I want change. And I like that energy now. I'm tired of us going up and pretending like we're sorry because we got shot. Like we're sorry because my brother or my sister out there was killed. Nah, why? What do I need to, because the energy behind that is like, why should we bow down and scrape and cry and hope and pray to you that you don't do anything when you've already proven to us there's nothing that we can do? So if there's nothing that we can do to protect ourselves, then why should we follow anything you say? And right. We're seeing,
that can be a very circular, argument or conversation. Well, you shouldn't have done this. You shouldn't have done that. You should do this. You should do that. Mm-hmm. I understand what you're saying, but but it doesn't matter.
Yeah,
That's
it's
the
not.
thing. It doesn't matter. And regardless of that, regardless of the fact that you're saying, he should have followed, this order, that's not a death sentence. Him not following that order.
Yeah, it shouldn't be.
It should not be a death sentence.
Yeah. And Bootsworthy came through. What up, Catherine? Nice to see you in the spot. Bootsworthy said, I believe no police report. I need an independent third party review. Yeah, and I'm gonna keep it super honey. It don't matter what they find. This is going to be this whole FBI probe that they're doing into this is kind of like when you're at work. If you're in corporate America, you know how they have a meeting about the meeting. You know what I'm saying? Is basically just kicking the can down the road and hoping that these protests will die down. And that's why I'm hoping, I hope that many others are hoping that these protests intensify. We need to keep pressing the gas on this. I am tired of seeing essentially just black trauma on display for white racists to enjoy.
Yeah, I feel you, because the thing is, I was, of course, we're going through articles and everything, and I keep seeing the videos, and it's like, it's to the point where we can't stand to see any more videos, but it's like y'all are determined to post these videos everywhere. Now, videos are important to a certain degree.
Yeah.
But it does feel like it's, it's entertainment for some people.
It's salacious.
Yeah.
I mean, the journalistic term, if it bleeds, it leads. It's one of those things where I think there are a lot of people that are enjoying these videos. And I am tired. I am tired of our death being entertainment. I'm tired of our deaths being unjustly tossed aside. I'm tired of our black bodies being disregarded and thrown into the black hole of history and being forgotten. And I'm so tired that I'm at the point where I've said it. I saw the people protesting that night, and I said, I agree with you. Keep fighting, keep yelling, keep stomping, keep marching, break it, burn it down, because they don't listen. Black people, when we prayed, we got on our knees and prayed in front of white people. What they do? Put dogs on us. We did sit-ins. We singing, holding hands, we've done everything we could. And I've said this many times throughout history. Look, whenever the government doesn't fix it, the people have to fix it. And when the people have to fix it, things burn. Look throughout history. Any country, look, things are going to burn. It don't matter if it's in South America, Middle East, in China, in Canada, in North America, wherever it is, things are going to burn. See, the only difference is they want it to be criminalized now because it's black people. Once again, remember, the Boston Tea Party. That was the way we got our independence. Well, maybe one day we'll look back and say, you know what? When we burned down Kenosha, that's how we got our independence. I don't see how we can wax poetic over the same violence that you did when you felt you were being done wrong.
Well,
then now we have to feel like, oh, well, you're not protesting the right way.
Yeah, because remember, we watched I'm Not Your Negro.
Yep, true that.
And the thing is, when we were, when people were fighting for integration and white people were not having it, they were fighting and they were destroying things, they were setting fires, they were, being violent. And it wasn't because anybody had even done anything to them. That's the thing. They weren't fighting for freedom. They were fighting to not have to be beside a black person, for their kids to not have to be beside a black kid.
And so remember,
they committed all of this destruction with the aid of the police.
Yes. And remember, all those people that were spitting on people during segregation, they ain't all dead. Some of them are your bosses. Some of them run the bank that you put your money in. Some of them run the mechanic shop that you take your car to. All those white people ain't disappeared. Now to the chat, big shout out to K. Smith, said they aided him. They gave him water before he murdered. They also thanked his group for being out there, They being the police, and that's true. They thought that they were. I'm like, they thanked them. Are you serious? Are you serious? Do you know the logical line this can go to? Because now I'm not only am I saying the link is below for you guys to find the bail funds for protesters in your area and donate, because I know we can't all be out there on the front lines. It'd be great, but we can't all. But that doesn't mean you can't throw $1 or $2 here, $4 or $5 there. You know what I'm saying? And help the people that are out there fighting for the injustices that go on towards us each and every day. And with that said, the logical line that this goes to is what I'm going to touch on next. Protesters, y'all need to prepare for protests as if you are going to fight. And I know I know you don't want to hear that. I know it sounds bad. I know you want to keep it peaceful, but citizens as well as the police are making it very obvious that they are not going to allow you to peacefully protest. So if you're going to be out there, you have to protect yourself. And since especially the way this Kyle Rittenhouse thing is being handled, you can bet your bottom dollar there's going to be some more Kyle Rittenhouses out there. They coming because they're seeing how this is being handled, and they're like, oh, so it's open season. I'm going to tell y'all like this. My brothers and my sisters, if you ain't got a gun, get some. Stay protected. Keep your protection on you, because there is no reason at all for you to keep your protection at the house when you out doing your business from day to day. Look, I know it don't sound nice. I know y'all might not even be like, yo, I don't even like guns like that. And me, I'm kind of indifferent about guns. I'm not a gun nut. I'm not someone who hates guns either. But I'm going to tell you like this. Protect yourself. Because you look at the logical line of where this is going, it's only going to get worse. Until it gets better, it's going to get a whole lot worse, especially depending on how they handle this Kyle Rittenhouse thing. If Kyle Rittenhouse sees no time, which I'm pretty sure he's not, if he sees no time, it's going to be very tough out there. And we've seen these Karens at these stores. We see these guys at these Walmarts and stuff. And it's getting very physical, very fast. And I'm sorry, but similar to, I think it was Joe Torre did this. Pow pow sounds a lot better than please don't hurt me. And I hate to say it, but you need to protect yourself. I want you and I to get home safely. I ain't trying to hear this mess about, oh, well, I want the moral high ground. We already got it. Don't worry about the moral high ground. We've been had the moral high ground, and now it's time to change up our tactics. Am I saying that we need to be going out there trying to hurt people? No. But you need to go out there ready to protect yourself? Yes. Because police are driving cars into people. We got people with militias walking around, coming from another state, shooting folks. We got regular citizens driving cars into people. Look, the logical line of this shows that human nature is not going to be satiated by just driving into one or two people today. They're going to want to drive into more tomorrow, or they're maybe going to want to shoot another one tomorrow. And say it's all in the energy of protecting the community, because we have to protect. We had to protect Target. We had to protect AutoZone. Of course, I had to shoot these people. AutoZone, billion-dollar company, insurance, but I've got to shoot them. Protect yourselves, people. I'll be honest. Not only the mask and the gloves, but protect yourselves. Now, big shout out to the chat. Catherine B, which is something I wanted to talk about. It was reported early that Jacob Blake was attempting to stop a fight between two neighbors. Yes. Which makes this story sadder to me, because I believe that Jacob Blake was honestly in the wrong place at the wrong time, because I believe the 911 call that was made about someone else before he got there. And then, of course, him being there trying to break up something like the police should have been doing instead of killing people, or, trying to kill someone and accidentally only paralyzing them. He was trying to break up something that an upstanding citizen should do, try to de-escalate something, and he was rewarded by being gunned down by the cops. Shouts to Boogsworthy. It's out taxpayer money that's funding the police. We have the right to dismantle and replace who polices our communities if the current system is not up to par. Thank you. I completely agree with that. Did you want to? It looked like you had something that you wanted to add.
No, I was just saying absolutely to that. You can't get any plainer than that.
Yeah, and my hope is I'm just going to lay it on the line. Catherine, Boogsworthy, K. Smith, Jamal Lee, Alan Lewis. I would rather see y'all in court than see y'all laying on the street. I'm gonna just keep it real, keep it with you, and keep it ready. I'm just being honest. I would rather see you in court than see you on that street. And I'm tired of seeing this. Tired. And I know you're tired too. I'm tired.
And then there are always, a million and five excuses. It's like
for the same video we all saw.
Right. And y'all have these laws have been put into play. But then y'all, want to play hopscotch. And hop all around all of these different laws. And, because this, and because that. And it's like, it's frustrating. It's frustrating. And then you want to regulate how we protest. You want to regulate, how we fight, just to live. Oh, you're not doing it right. You shouldn't do it this way. And then, we're going to put you on curfew now because of the people that infiltrate these protests.
Yeah.
That they know happened. They have video proving that this has happened.
Yeah.
That law enforcement infiltrates these protests and other people that are trying to make the protests look violent.
Yeah.
Infiltrate these protests. It's not a group of people that go out and say, we're just going to burn down buildings as protests. That's not what they're doing.
Yeah. And even if they do, good on them. I'm tired. I'm tired of this whole system. And honestly, let's keep it real. If you policed properly, this would not be an issue. You want to talk about people protesting? If someone hadn't been shot for no reason, no one would be in the street. Let me ask you this. Kenosha, Wisconsin PD chief of police. And if you can, see if you can pull up his name real quick. Chief of police, Wisconsin. But Kenosha, Wisconsin. So where were the people at last month or 2 weeks before that? Were there any people in the streets? It's almost like he made it seem as if people are just always out in the streets all the time for no reason. No, something happened that angered people that have already been frustrated, and they took to the streets to display their frustrations. Don't act like your people didn't start this. And you have situations where people gaslight, like you got Tucker Carlson making it seem like these guys are patriots. Like, oh man, thank God, if the police aren't there, surely citizens must step in. Surely. Well, I wonder if Tucker Carlson would say the same thing if all of our black gangs were able to mobilize, which I would love to see, but that's a whole other thing. If they were able to mobilize on the level of like the NBA and say, you know what? Y'all ain't allowed in our neighborhoods no more. Y'all don't police it right, so y'all ain't allowed. We'll police it. We'll take care of our neighborhoods. Stay out. Then you would have a Tucker Carlson type saying, how dare they? How dare they keep the cops out? They're just citizens. What power do they have? Meanwhile, go ahead.
Sorry.
Daniel Miskinis, a.k.a. Full of Poop. Man is so much bull coming up. And it's funny because before he said that, like that whole statement that was like, y'all shouldn't have been outside, you see him pause for a second because even he knew, like, I might be getting into something. And what you're getting into is the logical line of, well, if these people shouldn't have been outside, neither should Kyle. Neither should those militias. This is good for the goose, is good for the gander, right? If these people are outside, and they're not supposed to be, then why are the militia being thanked for being outside? You can't have it both ways. Everyone needs to go home, correct? Or is it just the people that don't agree with the fact that you are able to shoot black people with basically impunity? Here's what police are going to end up running into. The same issue that they had or will have from Dallas. Y'all keep on playing and some cops' bodies going to drop. And we're going to be back where we was in Dallas. All y'all have to do is just police flatly, fairly amongst everyone. And when I say that, we see videos all the time, especially recently, of white men turning away from cops, walking away from cops, pushing cops, holding guns, putting their hand on their gun when looking at a cop, all kinds of things. And police find all kinds of ways to de-escalate and have empathy and care for these white gentlemen. Somehow, it's not extended to black people. And we got to hear this run around the block over and over again of, well, you didn't see before the video. You don't know what happened before that. So that's why this frustration is going on. And I honestly don't care what they burn. I do care what they burn. You need to burn down that police department. Straight up. You need to burn down City Hall because they the ones doing it to you. So that's what I say. That's burning down the CVS. I mean, it's good, but I mean, what's really, really good is like when George Floyd happened and they burned down that police station. That's really good. But that aside, I do want to talk about the NBA, which is something that I thought was beautiful out of this moment. For a long time, I think a lot of us have been wanting to see black celebrities or black athletes that have such a large platform to weigh in a positive way, weigh in a way that speaks to and aligns with the people on the street, the people on the ground, with what they're feeling. And unfortunately, this year, what we've seen is a lot of celebrities out there looking funny style. Of course, Terry Crews is probably the number one that's out there looking funny style. But I'm just saying that's normally what we saw. This week, what we saw with the Milwaukee Bucks and Giannis, and then on to the Orlando Magic, and on to LeBron James with the Lakers and everything, and the statements that come from them show a greater solidarity with what's going on the ground and a larger unity inside of the players or association in the NBA, which is something that I think black people, me especially, have been waiting for a long time. Because sacrifice is the only way that we know y'all are down with us. You know what I'm saying? Because too many times we hear, yo, I got to get this bag. I got to get this money. I got to do what I got to do. And when you end up in a situation where you find out, oh, well, they're out here saying my check isn't worth another dead black man, another dead black woman, another whatever. It's not worth another. And it was beautiful to see that. Beautiful to see that. And to see how they said, look, we got demands, they need to be met, and we ain't playing. And to see them make that statement and stop the world for a moment was very important. And I know a lot of people wanted to criticize, like, what's she going to do, not play for the rest of the season? No, it's about making that statement. And then beautiful to see the WNBA, who have been making all kinds of and sadly the chilling shirt that they wore for Jacob Blake with the 7 shots on the back. Yeah. The WNBA and the alignment with the NBA, both of them together pushing visually and very, very forward with their statements on what they feel about is going on right now. I couldn't be happier. And I hope that this continues with more solidarity throughout athletes and sports, because I said this way back with Colin Kaepernick. I said this way back. I was like, you know what would be dope is if Black people in the MLB, Black people in the rest of first all the brothers in the NFL stood with him. And then all the brothers in the NBA and the MLB, NHL, if they all stood up and said, look, we ain't playing. Y'all did this to Colin Kaepernick. He was able to protest, and y'all did this, and we ain't taking it. Because people might talk that mess. I've seen mess on Twitter like, oh, well, we can play without him. Do you really want to watch a league without basically the best players in it? Like, do you really want to do that? You don't want to do that. So I like the fact that they took a moment in time to stop everybody in their tracks during the playoffs, no doubt, and say, look, this is important. It's important to us, and we want y'all to pay attention. And we don't care about our check, our forfeit, whatever. We don't care. We want y'all to know exactly what we're talking about. So I thought that was beautiful. Big shout, Boogsworthy, WNBA been holding it down for a minute in very, very important ways.
Yeah, and I was going to say on that, they really have been for quite some time. And it's just unfortunate they just didn't really have the platform like the NBA for people to take notice.
Yeah, and big shout out to K. Smith said they should boycott the Olympics. That would be huge. Let them send all the top white basketball athletes that believe all lives matter. Yo, I'm gonna keep it real with you. Don't nobody want to watch an all-white league. Even white people don't want to watch an all-white league. They might front like they do. But boy, look. Oh, man. I know y'all got hyped last week over what was it, Dunkirk or whatever? What's the boy's name? No, I'm just playing. I ain't gonna mess with his name. But y'all got hype over him for last week. But y'all don't want a whole white. Y'all don't want a whole league of John Paxsons. All right, and no diss to John Paxson. I'm just saying you can't have 10 John Paxsons on the court. All right, you don't want that. I'm just saying you don't want that. You don't want 10 Vlade Divacs on the court. You don't want 10. Come on, man. You don't want 10 Kevin Loves on the court. Come on, man. You don't want that league. You don't really want that league. So shouts to K. Smith says NFL players don't have guaranteed contracts, so they would get cut, but NBA and MLB have guaranteed contracts. I disagree. Here's why. The players are the league. They are. The players are the league. All right, let's say they cut all those players. And then they say, well, we're going to get college players, right? People that watch the NFL do not want to watch college. There is some crossover of people that love college football and the NFL, but it's a very different game. It's a very different game. And I would argue that wouldn't work out in the NFL's favor. Once again, you'd be looking at a weak league. If I wanted to watch college football, I'd watch college football. I want to watch the NFL. The players are the league. They always have been. That's why you go anywhere, the employees, it's not about who's the manager. If all the employees walk out, what you going to do? What the manager going to do? The manager can't do all the work. And so just being an owner and saying, well, I'll cut you. Well, what you going to do? Have an all-white league? Or are you going to get a whole bunch of players from college that are all white players? Because if we're showing solidarity across all sports, that means that black players ain't coming no matter what. So I would argue that the NFL talks a big game because in general, throughout history, black people have been scared into inaction due to the rat race we're placed in financially. But once we realize that we are the league, you are your job. Wherever you're at, you are the resource. You know what I'm saying? If you're I don't know, say if you're working at Six Flags. Well, the people that run the rides, they are the resource. If all the people that ran the rides was like, screw it, we out, we ain't touching no buttons, we ain't buckling nobody in, no nothing. Well, guess what? You're just gonna have a whole bunch of long lines with nobody doing nothing. Especially if everyone else stands in solidarity with them. You can't hire enough people because the rest of the people are gonna be like, well, I might not want to work there, or I can't get there, or what. So it doesn't always work out in the favor that that people might think, well, the NFL just has all power. I'd argue that the NFL has the power that the players let it have. Which is also why I think during the playoffs is the most important time, because people are weighing in, they're paying attention, they're watching. There is a large platform for them at this time. And what's up, Jenna James? Nice to see Jenna James in the spot. Caseman said most NFL players can't go without a check, but I hear you. Here's what I say to that. The same NFL players or NBA players or whatever sports athletes that have money problems now are similar to the ones that had money problems back when athletes were way more politically and socially engaged. And back then, we have stories in books, even now, that players would help each other out and be like, yo, man, look, I know we boycotting this or we boycotting that, and you lost this, or they sat you out of the game or whatever. Here's some money. We would help each other out. And that solidarity could extend to that. I still argue that if we're getting back to that energy, we could get back to that energy as well. The energy of like, look, all right, they cut your money, but all of us ain't living paycheck to paycheck. I'd argue that not every single NFL player that's black is living paycheck to paycheck. And for them to be able to collect all their funds together, or at least work together to make sure we gonna make it through this, whatever boycott or, protest that we're doing, that we can make it through. I think you could do it. I do believe you could do it because I believe that it's been done before in a way, maybe not for the whole league, but I do think it can be done. I think a lot of times the system scares us into believing that we're less powerful than we really are. Because if we weren't, there would be no reason for them to thank the militia out there to help them keep things okay. Because people ain't got no power. We're the police. It's all good. We got this.
Sorry, breaking in. Somebody posted this. Black Panther star Chadwick Boseman dies of cancer.
No, whoa, hold up, what? Yo. Oh man, yo. We saw him. Okay, all right. And sorry, Battler that's in the chat. What up? Nice to see you. Andrew West, what up? Nice to see y'all. This just came over the wire, so I guess we'll cover this. Go on and hit us, KTLA, go on and read it for us.
Chadwick Boseman died of cancer at 43. Actor Chadwick Boseman, who played Black icons Jackie Robinson and James Brown before finding fame as the real Black Panther in the Marvel Cinematic Universe, died Friday of cancer. His representative said he was 43. Boseman died at his home in the Los Angeles area with his wife and family by his side. His publicist, Nikki Fioravante, told the Associated Press. Boseman was diagnosed with colon cancer 4 years ago, his family said in a statement.
Remember when we saw him and I was like, he looks real small.
Yeah.
And I was like, I just threw it off because I was like, oh, he's probably losing weight for a role.
Yeah, remember I was like,
well, because look at 50 Cent, that role he played. 50 Cent is in this movie. It's actually not bad. 50 Cent is in a movie where, does he play college football? I'm trying to remember, but he lost a whole lot of weight. And he looked very, very sick. But he lost it because he was playing a cancer patient, in the film. So when I saw him so small, I thought that, oh, well, when I saw it, I was like, oh, he's probably doing it for a role. And I just threw that thought away. And dag it. Oh my God. Yeah, this is a shock to everybody because probably the only people that knew were his family. Oh man. Dang. And I know I've known a couple of families that had to deal with the big C, and cancer is tough, man. And 4 years battling that, family in and out, doctor visits, and infusions and radiation or whatever he may have had to go through. Jeez, man, dang. You know what? Moses put something in the chat which is good. He said the beautiful thing is he received his flowers while he was alive, and that's what's up. That's true. We gave him his love while he was here, and man, rest in power, Chadwick Boseman. Chadwick Boseman, who brought us a proper Black Panther that we'll never forget, and then also a great human being off the screen from everyone that I know that's met him. Because sometimes you'll meet someone who's like a star, and then you're like, you shouldn't. They're not that great. But it's a beautiful thing that he was able to get his flowers while he was here. And the work that he did, from James Brown, to Jackie Robinson, then also Black Panther, 21 Bridges, like he, and also, what's the film? I can't think. It's a period piece, and it'll come to me in a second. But it's a beautiful thing to see, how he was able to see how much we, appreciated his craft, his work that he put in while he was here. So, of course, to the family and close friends of Chadwick Boseman, I'm so sorry for what y'all got to go through. But I'm also happy that he's probably not in the pain that he was feeling. And like they say, he beat us. He beat us home. You know what I'm saying? He got home before we did. Dang, man. Like it, dang. That's tough. Yeah, man. So it's a good thing that he got his flowers while I was here, for real. Because I know how it can be sometimes when you're an artist working and you kind of don't get recognized at the time. So that's a beautiful thing. Big shout out to the chat, Cooley High in the house. Much love to you, man. Nice to see you. Big shout out. We got Kaiser in the spot. What up, man? Andrew West. Thank you. It looks like Jenna James is doing what Jenna James got to do. So whatever Jenna James is doing, thank you. Jenna James is out there like
we both tag team.
So Jenna James is out there in the streets like cow. But yeah, man, dang, man, an amazing talent, and wow, just an amazing talent for real. Like Chadwick Boseman was dope. Good to know that he was dope off screen as well. And I just feel bad that, well, I mean, it was most likely his wishes that we didn't know. But it kind of feels bad that it just seems so sudden for us. But, like I said, I'm sure his family knew, and they,
I'm sure
they did what they had to do.
I don't want this to take away from what I'm doing. Because of course, the question is always going to be no matter what he's doing, he's always going to come back around to how are you doing and how are you feeling. And, so he probably was like, I just want to focus on my craft as long as I'm here.
Yeah. So, it's Cooley High said throw 2020 away. Yeah, it's because, You know what? I was about to say something mean, but I won't say that. But we're losing way too many great people. Yeah, man, dag. Man. I'm gonna say it to you when we get
Okay.
when we get off of live, I'm gonna say it to you. I'm gonna say it to you because we here. Yeah. You know we here.
But I'm glad you stopped yourself.
I stopped myself because I'm a look, hey, I'm saved, sanctified.
God don't like ugly and he ain't too far to keep.
Thank you. So I'm saved, I'm sanctified. But I'm gonna say it off live. I ain't gonna say it to y'all. But guys, that's our time. Moses said, hold up, what you mean? My birthday still ain't here yet. Wait till mid-December. Mid-December? Mid-December. Look, we just gonna skip your birthday, all right? Get out of here. Just skip your birthday, forget it. You just gonna be this year 2 times, all right? You just gonna be, look, if whatever you is.
You old enough.
You old enough. You don't need no new birthdays. All right, you just save this birthday for the next one. All right. But with that said, Tyler said you scared. No, actually, I'm not scared. The person I would say something about, I'm not scared of that person, but I try to keep my channel all ages for the most part. And I don't want to spread a certain level of negativity, except a certain rapper that all y'all know I have beef with a certain rapper. That always goes. He's cut off.
And I honestly think that saying certain things about people that are really malicious and ugly, it's more of a reflection of you and your heart than it is of that person you're speaking about.
Yeah, even though I'm joking. Well, I'm kind of half joking. I really just want, yeah. I'll just leave that. So, Meg the Hoof? What? No, not Meg. Nah, man.
Don't even try.
Nah, I don't got no beef with Meg, man. I got, if you want to see who I have beef with, watch the Beats Vibes Life episode where we review Nas's The King's Disease. You'll find out who I have beef with, and it's not Nas. But with that said, guys, we've reached time. We thank all of y'all for coming out. I just want to leave y'all with this. We all see what happened to Jacob Blake. We all see what's going on with Kyle Rittenhouse. Protect yourselves, yo, for real. Because I don't see this slowing down. I see this energy of being emboldened is not going to slow down in any way. And regardless of what happens in November, I still don't see it slowing down. So with that said, guys, get some protection, keep it with you, and ready. Besides that, keep your mask on, keep your gloves on. Don't get that COVID. You know what I'm saying? Keep that COVID away.
And still continue to support Black businesses.
Yes. You know what I'm saying? It's like, Black businesses. I got some links in the chat. I mean, that links in the description below. Make sure that y'all start to shift y'all dollars towards Black businesses, whether you're buying soap, deodorant, paper towels, toilet paper, t-shirts, socks, whatever it is. You can find places like Shop Black or We Buy Black. You can find something like that and move your money. You know what I'm saying? Let that dollar circulate.
Ads for Black businesses are out there like never before. I have never seen ads in all my life.
Yeah. Yeah, so it's that time. It's that time for real. You know what I'm saying? We need to vote with our dollars. And then also make sure that we vote, you know what I'm saying? Vote with our dollars and vote where our activism. If you can't get out there on the street, donate to the bail funds. You know what I'm saying? And continue to stay focused, because I wouldn't get your hopes up for November. I'm gonna say that, no matter who wins. But that's a whole nother thing. Peace and love and power to the family of Jacob Blake. All of the most strongest and stringent applicable laws and prosecution to the family of the Rittenhouses. And we're going to leave it like that. So, to my left, Lady Lisa, say what's up. And big shout out to Alan Lewis, Boogsworthy, K. Smith, Jenna James, Jamal Lee, Catherine B. We had Moses in here. We had Kaiser up in here. Jesus is GOAT. I mean, of course. I mean, it kind of is. Cooley High up in here. Tyler Bennett up in here. Of course, Tyler Bennett, Jamal Lee. Thank you for being Patreon supporters. Please consider supporting the Patreon. You know what I'm saying? Look, every little dollar helps. Yeah, boy. Nah. But with that said, NERDSoul, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, all them places. That is right. Don't believe the hype. YouTube is the hub. Hit that thumbs up if you like what you're seeing. Hit that thumbs down if you don't, but you hit that thumbs down. Ho, ho, ho. I'm going to send Darth Vader after you. All right? He ain't going to be happy. So, podcast everywhere you want to listen to them. If you like listening instead of seeing. And also Spotify for that music. Don't sleep. Oh, also, and speaking of black businesses, Curo Brand, Kaiser of Curo Brand is in the chat right now. So if you need some new t-shirts, check out CuroBrand.com. It's dope. KuroBrand.com. It's dope. Check it out. Go get it. And before we leave, I'm going to leave you with some dope beats. That's right. Architron. That's right. Architron.com. Got that heat for you. What can I say? He made the Space Bridge. He made Subtle Busyness. He got them hot beats. He's made music for Major, not Major Lazer. He's made music for Laser Wolf. He's made music for, tons of people. All right, man. Dude is dope. He's got skills. And I got some of them beats for you. So, of course, ARCKATRON.com. Check out the Space Bridge, new music. I'm on there. Anwar Hassan's on there. Tons of people on there. Check it out. So from us to you, we're just saying thank you for coming and peace. We out. Yeah. We out, y'all.